Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. What a mad game it was at the Etihad. Spurs crumbling like a digestive biscuit. 2-0 at half-time it was to Spurs. But Conte's side falling apart as Mahrez stole the show and stole all 3 points for Manchester City. Manchester City in the first half. What was that performance all about from them and Pep's side? It was poor, to say the very least. But in the second half, they turned it on and it was comfortable for them in the end. And Spurs under Conte losing a 2-goal lead. What is going on with Antonio Conte? Time is ticking on him as the heat is turned up. Consecutive defeats in the North London derby and in the game against Manchester City. And you're looking at those performances and you're saying, well, she can lose those games quite easily against the top two teams in the league. You've not put in a performance at all. Absolutely abysmal. And to all those that wanted Conte as Man United manager, I hate to say I told you so. I wanted him nowhere near Manchester United. The football is poor, but they're not even getting the results, are they? In the first half, though, we'll speak about that. Couple of shockers from Ederson as well. We'll have to speak about that. But before we do, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Get subscribed to the channel. Like, comment, share, all that stuff. And also, I've got a new channel with Rory and Boovy. The link is in the description below. It's called The Club. Join the club. Hit the link below and follow us on all our socials and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Now let's get stuck into this game. As I said, first half, Ederson, shocker for both goals that Spurs scored. Poor pass from him to Rodri. Rodri's closed down. Kulusevski gets an opportunity and places it in. And you look at the positioning of Ederson for the shot as well. He was all the way across the goal. He made it so easy for Kulusevski. And then again, the second goal, he flaps it across. He makes an easy chance for Emerson Royale, who finishes. And it was in the space of like a minute just before half-time. Ederson, so poor from him. You have to ask what's going on when he's playing like that. But he's always going to play like that. Not the flapping stuff, but the passing out from the back. That's what they do. And it's the way teams can get at them if they press those players. And you looked at Spurs. They were going, although they were sitting off Manchester City, whenever Manchester City did have the ball in the defensive third, they were pressing every single one of their players man for man and trying to block out those passes and press them up the park quite early. And then obviously when you're hitting them on the counter-attack and City have lots of players up the field, it's easy for them to hit them on a counter-attack. They had opportunities to do that in the second half. Didn't pay off for them. But City looked slow, lethargic, poor, couldn't pass really, couldn't create any chances. Haaland was on the periphery. But in the second half, a completely different performance. Alvarez with the first goal, a fantastic finish. Haaland with the second goal, a typical Haaland goal. He was in the 6-yard box looking, to get those tap-ins. Fantastic finish from him. I think Grealish and Mahrez were key to the change in terms of how direct they went in the second half. And Mahrez, who took the free kick for the Alvarez goal, who set up Haaland for his goal, then got his own goal. Although, again, a Hugo Lloris shocker. After a poor performance against Arsenal, another shocker from him in this one. What the hell's going on from Hugo Lloris? So poor. And for as bad as Conte is doing and as bad as the football is, it's not helping your goalkeepers having shockers on a regular basis. And he lets one in at the front post, although it was a very good shot by Mahrez. Richarlison could have maybe given away a penalty, although I don't think it was a penalty. Gary Neville seemed convinced it was a penalty in commentary. I thought the player had his back to goal and it was quite close when it got headed at him. How's he going to move it? Although his arms were maybe in an unnatural position, that's not a penalty for me. But it didn't have to be because Mahrez got another goal. He was involved in all of City's goals. I hate City, but I've got to say, I do like Riyad Mahrez. I think he's a fantastic player. And he won that game for them today. But also, Spurs absolutely lost it. They were gifted 2 goals in the first half. And they absolutely crumbled. I don't know. They were like at 2-0. You get gifted a 2-0 lead at the Etihad. Anyone can get turned over like that. But surely you come out with a little bit more about you. And they fell apart so early. It's not even like, the first goal winning after 60 minutes. Fell apart early doors. And I didn't see it coming. City didn't make any changes. It would have been very easy to frustrate them. But no. And again, Son, anonymous. Synonymous at it again. Kane, poor. what's going on there. And a Conte side that loses a 2-0 lead. Has he lost the dressing room? Is his time up? Because they don't seem to be performing for him. And, you know, I don't like to rush to go in, our manager's sacked. But Conte is not working any magic at the moment. And they're 5 points off. 6 points off Manchester United, who are in third. They are how many points off Newcastle? 5 points off Newcastle, who are in fourth. United and Newcastle both have games in hand on them. So they're out of the not out of the top four race, but playing like this, they're not going to get anywhere near it. And when teams like Brighton play their games in hand, they could potentially go ahead of Spurs. I think, could Liverpool go ahead of them? I don't think so. But yeah, Liverpool actually could. And Brentford could go a point behind them. So if those teams win their games in hand, and look, you have to play them first. Spurs could be dropping down the table. Conte's position is not looking very good right now. They've got some very good players as well. You look at the likes of Bentancur, Kulusevski, Son, Kane. One of the, up there with some top front threes in the league. Bentancur, I think, is an incredible player. Højbjerg's not bad. They've got some decent players, but look at these performances. Not very good at all. As from my perspective as a United fan, I was hoping for a draw here, because then City don't pull away from us. Now City are 3 points ahead of us, and Spurs obviously don't gain too much points on us. But obviously City managed to turn it around completely. In terms of the title race, Arsenal fans would have been rubbing their hands together at half time, thinking everything's coming up Millhouse this week for them, all the results going their way. But then Man City put on a performance like that, and I've got to say, from what I've heard from Pep Guardiola and the performance I saw in the first half, I was thinking City ain't winning this league. They don't look like a team that want to win it. The manager's saying weird things, but then that second half performance probably sends a message. If they win their game against Wolves, they go how many points behind? Although they would have played 2 games in hand, they'll be 2 points behind Arsenal before Arsenal play United. So things could change very, very quickly in terms of the way the league looks. But for United, helps us in terms of top 4. We're looking comfortable there. And although we only got a point at Palace, we've now pulled, a further point away from Spurs. So not too bad at all. You got to look for the positives wherever you can. And a big game coming up for us next against Arsenal. We've got to do with that Casemiro. I did a video earlier on that, which you can check out, how United will cope without Casemiro, how we will line up. So go and check that out after this video. But thank you for keeping it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll be back very, very soon with more content. I'll see you in a bit.